Welcome to City Week, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Alton West. Today I'll have a guest on talking about the upcoming Great American Cleanup. So stay tuned for that interview coming up in just a moment.
What can you recycle?
Does the city recycle plastic?
Yes, the city recycles plastic. We accept bottles, containers, and jugs.
Please rinse and clean them.
Because if you don't, they're considered contaminated. And contaminated items are thrown away.
Plastic bags are not accepted.
No grocery bags, no dry cleaning bags, and no trash bags. Does the city recycle tin and aluminum?
Yes, the city recycles those items. But all items must be rinsed and cleaned.
Don't put these items in plastic bags.
Because if they're not clean, they're contaminated.
And all contaminated items are thrown away.
Does the city recycle cardboard, newspapers, or magazines?
Yes, the city accepts these items.
Cardboard boxes need to be broken down.
And packing materials must be removed.
If the cardboard isn't broken down, it's contaminated.
And those items are thrown away.
If the items are too big, place it by the bin.
Did you know that 30% of our curbside recycling is contaminated and thrown away?
Please help our community and our environment and recycle smart.
Please help.
Recycle is smart.
Recycle smart! Recycle smart! Recycle smart!
Welcome to City Week, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'm being joined by a board member from Keep Troup Beautiful. I want to say a charter member of Keep Troup Beautiful, Mac McGowan. Mac, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Alton, and good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, Mac, you know, I know that you and I, we go back a long way. So I was on the board of Keep Troup Beautiful back when Doris was there.
Right.
Did an excellent job. You were there, and we've seen a number of things that Keep Troup Beautiful have done in our community, you know, by way of literacy, as far as litter is concerned, you know, recycling the schools. And when we get our kids involved and they get the parents involved, we see some change, don't we?
That's where it happens.
That's where it happens, absolutely.
Right.
Mac, well, tell us a little bit about yourself, if you don't mind.
Okay, well, I actually came to LaGrange in 1960, so I feel like a native.
That's right.
I came here with Callaway Mills Company out of college and was here for a few years and left and came back, and then I retired from Interface in 2000. So I've actually been back in LaGrange over 25 years now. So I really feel like a native. It's kind of like home to me. I've been with, as Alton said, I've been on the board of Keep Troup Beautiful for about 13 years or something like that. And, you know, incidentally, this year is Keep Troup Beautiful's 25th anniversary.
Okay.
We are one of, I think there's about 75 affiliates in the state. We're part of the Keep Georgia Beautiful, and then the bigger umbrella, Keep America Beautiful. And I think Keep Troup Beautiful is the largest affiliate in the state of Georgia. So we've been around pushing stuff a long time. And
quite a while.
You know, I keep reminding people of our mission, and you mentioned this just before we went on the air, that you get the kids involved, then you can make things happen. And
that's right.
Ties into our mission where we encourage behavioral change and individual responsibility through education.
That's right.
To result in a cleaner county.
Absolutely. And you know, Mac, you were talking before we came on, because we want to get in, because we want to lead up to talking about the Great American Cleanup.
Right.
And you were telling me that you all just finished the litter survey.
Right.
Talk a little bit about that, if you don't mind.
Okay, once a year, we have the county broken up into 4 sectors, and we have teams of 2 or 3 or 4. Probably about the tops would be 4. But we travel all of the roads in that sector.
Okay.
And it averages out roughly 100 miles per sector of local, county and state roads and whatever. And we rate the amount of trash that we see on a scale of 1 to 4, with 1 being very good, 4 being very bad. Last year, the overall average was like 1.9, which was pretty good. We try to point out, though, the big gripe areas you hear people complain about are the entry roads into the city, like West Point Road or Hamilton Road or 29, whatever. So we try to emphasize those, and last year, even though the overall average was good, the entry sectors were still their normal. I don't know what it is. People come to a stop sign, I guess they roll the window down, just pitch stuff out the window, and it's terrible.
It is.
But anyway, the purpose of the litter survey is to try to determine whether we're making any progress in overall cleanliness of the county.
Absolutely. And you said is the gateways to our community. Sometimes you can ride down through them, and it seems like someone had an unsecured bag of trash, and it just scatters throughout. And you're right. Those are the gateways to our community. And then, as a visitor here, and hopefully drawing more residents to the city of LaGrange, we don't. Right. That's not the impression that we want to leave.
That's exactly right.
And talking about that, how can individuals get involved? Number one, make sure they secure their trash on their truck. How can people get involved, Matt?
Well, let me just, if you don't mind, reference Keep Troup Beautiful and Keep America Beautiful emphasizes the 5 R's, we call it.
Okay.
The first one is to reduce. Use less, therefore less potential for trash. Reuse. Use washable plates instead of throwing away paper plates, for example.
Okay.
Recycle anything that can be recycled, and I'm real disappointed that the city had to give up recycling glass. And I know what the reason is, and it's a valid reason. But glass is bad. It's stuff, and reject. If you go to the store and buy something, try to pick those products that are either don't require recycling or are more recyclable. Don't buy any stuff that's wrapped in plastic, because plastic just doesn't go away.
That's right.
And the last thing is to react. If you see something wrong, let somebody know. Complain. Go to the store, call the city. Don't just sit back on your hump, and not do anything.
That's right.
And that's how people can get involved. But back to the education part and the children part, as you pointed out, get the kids involved, get them started in the right direction, and they'll drag the parents and get them involved too. So
that's right, absolutely.
That's the way you can get involved.
That's the way you can get involved. And you know what, because a lot of times when the kids, like I say, they gravitate to something, or they latch on to something, I say, and they go at it full force and wholeheartedly. We've seen some of the videos that have been made. Katie Longshore, I'm sorry, not even Longshore, but Katie Mercer has done some videos here just talking about, getting the kids involved in the various schools and stuff of that nature. The Great American Cleanup is coming up, and that's what we want to really focus on and talk about, and definitely want to get the general public involved. When is the Great American Cleanup scheduled for, Matt?
Actually, we look at the American Cleanup as a full-time always going on, but there's a period of time beginning roughly about the 1st of the 1st of March rather, through middle of May, that we call our focus area.
Okay.
And annually there's something like 20,000 communities involved throughout the country, involved in focusing on litter cleanup during this period of time. Ours Focus Day will be April 21st, and at that time we're looking for volunteers, and we've already got a number of people signed up with teams that do either their local neighborhood, or they pick out a section of the city or a section of the county. Callaway, all the high schools that have been actively involved are always involved, and we appreciate that.
Okay.
but the celebration, if you will be on April 21st at Eastside Park. And I think it's going to be tied in, if I'm not mistaken, the next sector of the thread is going to be ribbon cut or whatever they're going to do at that point. So should be a big active event. If you want to sign up, you can contact Keep Troop Beautiful through the local telephone number, email, or you can just call me and I'll get you signed up.
Okay.
But we would, at the end of the session, we'll recognize, hopefully, some teams that have done an extraordinary job, some unusual stuff. You know, every year in the past, we've always, you mentioned Katie Mercer. She was on the WTRP this morning.
Okay.
And was glad to hear her mention Keep Troop Beautiful, not Keep Troop Beautiful, but the Great American Cleanup.
Right.
And she said, Walter said, didn't somebody have something about the oddest or the strangest thing? And that was Keep Troop Beautiful. We've always sponsored that at the American Cleanup. And we've had things like dead possums, sectors of drain pipe. I mean, some really weird stuff.
Odd stuff, right, that you find.
But it's a fun event.
Yeah, it is. And it's for a very worthwhile cause.
Absolutely.
Because we're cleaning up our community.
Clean up Troup County.
Absolutely. And you talked about on the 21st, and it was going to be a very eventful day that day, because you will have the kind of like the celebration of the Great American Cleanup. You will also have the ribbon cutting for the second phase of the thread, which is a very exciting thing that's happening in our community.
I'm amazed at how many people actually are walking and using the thread.
That's right, absolutely. And we want to keep it clean as we do that. We want to keep it clean. And one of the other things, Mac, that I want you to talk about is tire amnesty too, because you all want to have a dumpster there that same day.
We'll have a dumpster at Eastside Park for whatever bags of trash that people collected that day. Unfortunately, this time I don't think we're going to have the facility to have a dumpster for tires, so there will not be a tire amnesty that day.
Okay, you won't have it. Okay,
but we will a couple of times a year do sponsor a tire amnesty. And as you know, tires are a real problem. I don't know what used to amaze me when I was involved with the Lake Coalition was seeing all the tires that you find on the shores of the lake. Right. What are tires doing in the lake?
That's right.
Anyway, but we will not have a tire amnesty that day.
Okay, but we'll look forward to it later on throughout the year.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Now, Mac, I want to talk, because a lot of times, like we talked about, cleanup is not just, we definitely want to recognize it, March to May, but when we talk about cleaning up our community, you alluded to this earlier, that's throughout the year.
Right.
And one of the ways that the community can get involved, because my organization is by Adopt a Spot. Talk about that if you don't mind.
Adopt a Spot or Adopt a Mile is a program that goes way back early into the history, if you will, of Keep America Beautiful. And it's a very good thing. Any company or a group can select a section of a highway or a road, a neighborhood or whatever, and that would be their project to police that on a periodic, weekly, monthly, whatever, to keep that area particularly clean. And if you can envision, if you had enough people to connect every segment of every street in town, and they all picked up, guess what would happen? You wouldn't have any litter on the ground. That's right. That would be heaven, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would be. Yes, it would be. And I know that one of the requirements, as you talked about, if you get enough people to kind of sectionalize and everybody came together and clean it up, I think one of the requirements is that they pick it up at least 4 times a year, correct?
That's correct. That's correct.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we have a lot of people, and I'm sure you've seen signs around town of churches and businesses and local citizens group, community, what do they call them?
Just various organizations.
Yeah, various organizations that represent a community or whatever. So it's a good thing.
It is. It is for a very worthwhile cause. So again, we just want to make sure that everybody knows that the Great American Cleanup is from March to May on the calendar, but it's each and every day.
It's an annual event every day.
Every day is a Great American Cleanup. But we also want to remember that the celebration is going to be on April the 21st over at Eastside Park.
Right.
And T-shirts, and I know that there will be gloves and bags and stuff that will be given out.
Right, we will provide those, and we caution people, don't pick up any needles or syringes or anything sharp. Be careful that you don't step on a nail. We had, unfortunately, a year or two ago, had somebody stepped on a nail on a board. Didn't result in any permanent damage, but things like that happen, you know. And so, just to encourage you to watch what you're picking up or stepping on, and
that's right.
Let's be safe.
Absolutely safe, but you know, again, it's for a very worthwhile cause. And so the staging will be there at Eastside Park, where they will get the gloves and the various things, and go to their various locations.
Or they can contact the Keep Troup Beautiful office in advance.
Okay.
And we can get them from Scott Land, our executive director. Unfortunately, had to be out of town today, as you know. But he's available to provide that kind of stuff.
Okay. All right. Well, and I know that the number here is 884-9922 if they want to give a call. That's correct.
Okay. Or you can email at ktbaffiliate.net.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, very good. Well, you know, I do know that the community will come out, Mac, and help with this very worthwhile cause, because with all the things that we see coming, you know, to our community potentially, as far as growth is concerned, with the, you know, commercial development, the industrial development, all those various things, I know that our citizens want to make sure that the visitors that come here see a good image of LaGrange and want to come back.
Absolutely. And you know, every time I hear somebody say, oh, this state is so much worse than XYZ state. Well, first of all, that's not true, because I've been in a lot of states and they've got the same problem we do. But we don't care so much about them. We just want to see Keep Troup Beautiful, or see Troup County in the state of Georgia cleaned up.
That's right, absolutely. Well, I just know that the citizens will come out, Mac. I know that we'll be there. As a matter of fact, to that, the City of LaGrange, we're going to be shutting down that Friday, and we're going to be going out into various areas of the community to do a cleanup with all the city employees.
That's wonderful. We're just delighted that there's been a tremendous amount of conversation and talk about litter recently, and it's kind of spurred on a lot of activity, and that's good. That's really good for the community. It
is. And then too, we are hoping that more of the communities, we see, you know, the Calumet community, the Alton West community, they're formalizing, they're galvanizing, and they're taking on the roles of keeping their communities, you know, up, you know, making sure that housing issues are addressed, you know, the litter issues are addressed. So again, like you were talking about, it's just kind of mushrooming out.
Yeah, they become an example, and then the example gets bigger and bigger and bigger. That's great. That's
absolutely. So we know that with everybody getting involved, that not only are we going to keep Troup County clean, hopefully we'll spread over into the surrounding counties, and it will impact not only our community, but the various communities throughout the state of Georgia.
We know that Coweta County has a very active Keep Coweta Beautiful. I think Harris County has a group. I'm not sure whether they still do or not, but as you say, it just spreads.
That's right.
And
absolutely.
It becomes an influence on others.
Absolutely. It certainly does. Well, Mac, I want to thank you for coming in today and just sharing this information with us. And again, we look forward to being out there with you all on the 21st to celebrate the Great American Cleanup. But we also want everybody to know that not only is it from March to May, but it's each and every day. All right.
24/7.
24/7. Mac, thank you so very much for being on the show today.
Thank you for the opportunity.
All right. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned for more City Week in just a moment.
I'm LaGrange Mayor Jim Thornton. And I'm Patrick Cruz, Chairman of the Troup County Board of Commissioners. And we've got a question for you. Have you ever littered?
No.
No.
No. Sometimes. I see my dad litter. It's something which you just throw on the floor, and you don't, you just throw things on the floor and when you don't need to. I just don't like putting it in the trash can sometimes, but sometimes I do put them in the trash can. Don't do that. Just a piece of trash on our yard, and I don't like people that litter. He just threw the gun out the window. Keep Troup Beautiful. If you are littering people, stop littering right now. Don't litter. And you're a grown-up, you should know that. Keep Troup Beautiful.
Littering in Troup County is not a small problem. It's a big one, and we need everyone to do their part.
The City of LaGrange, along with Troup County and the cities of Hogansville and West Point, want to clean up our community.
So please don't trash Troup.
Let's pick it up. Working together, we can keep Troup County a beautiful place to live.
Nobody wants to be stopped by a law enforcement officer.
Everyone wants to feel safe.
So we've trained our officers to first listen and then explain.
We ask if you have contact with one of our officers, you listen, give him an opportunity to explain, comply with his requests, and if there's a problem, contact us so that we can investigate your complaint.
Listen, explain, comply, then complain.
Our safety and yours matters.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining City Week this week. My guests have been from the Great American Cleanup, board member from KTB, Mac McGowan, as he talked about the upcoming event that will be climaxed on April the 21st over at Eastside Park. So ladies and gentlemen, if you see people out on the roadsides picking up trash, give them a break, slow down, and if you're not in a hurry, get out and give them a hand. I'm sure they will greatly appreciate it. And by all means, if you'd like to get more information about how you can adopt a mile, give them a call over at KTB at 706-884-9922. Again, I'm sure they will be greatly appreciative of that. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you've enjoyed this interview, and as always, I want to invite you back for more of City Week.
What can you recycle?
Does the city recycle plastic?
Yes, the city recycles plastic.
We accept bottles, containers, and jugs.
Please rinse and clean them.
Because if you don't, they're considered contaminated. And contaminated items are thrown away.
Plastic bags are not accepted.
No grocery bags, no dry cleaning bags,
And no trash bags. Does the city recycle tin and aluminum?
Yes, the city recycles those items. But all items must be rinsed and cleaned.
Don't put these items in plastic bags.
Because if they're not clean, they're contaminated.
and all contaminated items are thrown away. Does the city recycle cardboard, newspapers, or magazines?
Yes, the city accepts these items. Cardboard boxes need to be broken down.
And packing materials must be removed.
If the cardboard isn't broken down, it's contaminated.
And those items are thrown away.
If the items are too big, place it by the bin.
Did you know that 30% of our curbside recycling is contaminated and thrown away?
Please help our community and our environment and recycle smart.
Please help.
Recycle is smart.
Recycle smart! Recycle smart! Recycle smart!
Inspires me about LaGrange, about my job. I'm the only one. I'm the welder fabricator for the entire city of LaGrange. There's multiple employees in other locations, other departments. I'm the only one. Right now, I'm out here doing something that I love with a great group of guys, having a ball, and it's the best job I've ever had, and I hope I stay here for a long time.
Hey, I'm Stephanie Crow. I work for the City of LaGrange. and I live in West Point, Georgia. West Point has the small town vibe and is a small town, and there's not very much to do with your children, and I'm a mom. So what inspires me about the City of LaGrange is the growth potential, and that it feels like it's a big city, but it feels like a small town. With Sweetland and the ice rink and all the different things around town to do, it just inspires me. And my husband and I both want to move up here and get our kids involved, and so I'm really inspired by the growth potential and how the community wants children involved and to stay here and to grow and raise families here and give them things to do. So that's what inspires me.
I'm Brenda Leverett, this is Sherry Pound, and we're with the City of LaGrange, and what inspires me is the way that the city gets involved in the community. I do Relay for Life. I'm the team captain and Sherry's my assistant, and the city's involved in everything from the start to finish, and we've got employees that get on board, and we do walks. We're doing the Christmas parade this year. Barbecues. We do a lot of fundraisers, and we have 110% support from the city for anything we do.
All right, I'm Cherry Pound, and what inspires me is all of the activities in the city and what the city allows us to do and provides for us. The amphitheater and all of the new activities.
The skating, ice skating.
Oh, the ice skating. Yes.
And we have a beautiful square.
Anybody
that's around loves our square.
Yes.
Go down at night and it's beautiful.
When thinking about what inspires me, I'm really inspired by our team, working together towards a common goal to benefit us all. I see a lot of individual talent in a lot of people, and our citizens and our staff and our leadership. But when you combine all those talents and work together and support each other, the outcome is far greater than the individual sum of all the parts. So I am super inspired by the teamwork that I see here. When you add in the dynamic coaching of strong leadership, you have greatness. And I think that we have a really great team. We are playing the game really, really well, and we are winning.
Okay, hi, I'm Christine. I'm just inspired by the City of LaGrange because I see all the business opportunities and the projects coming into our little city, like Great Wolf, The Thread, and the Hobby Lobbies, which I'm really excited about for myself. But also I see a bunch of little businesses coming into our community that have an opportunity to start up restaurants and to set up their retail stores. So that's what I'm excited and inspired about. Thanks.
My name is Meg Kelsey. I am the city manager of LaGrange. I have worked for the city for a little over 21 years. I am very inspired. Every day I come to work for the employees that we have here. They go above and beyond call, and I couldn't work with a greater group of people that I consider them my family.